Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Internal Rambles. This is your girl, Rochelle. If you are new, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you for tuning back in. Internal Rambles is a very eclectic podcast. I talk about my life, my career, trending entertainment topics, music, etc. My normal episodes releases every Thursdays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, pretty much everywhere that you get your podcast content. You can also reach me at my official website, which is internalramblespodcast.com. I also release bonus content. There is no set schedule for that, and that could include my reality show recaps. I'm currently recapping and reviewing Married at First Sight Nashville and wrapping up Ready to Love Miami. I have a segment with my close friend G.O., The Male Perspective with G.O., and we tackle various topics. I also have my top 5 albums from my favorite artists, etc. Very random segments that I release with my bonus content. There is no set schedule for that. Those episodes releases whenever I record and post those. So check me out at my official site. Leave me a comment. Leave me some questions that you want answered on my podcast. Leave me a voicemail for a future episode. And subscribe to me so that you get my content immediately. This is the first episode of season 3 of Internal Rambles, and I'm going to start it off the way that I always start off my Thursday episodes, which is either with Rochelle's Raves, something that I am excited about, I'm looking forward to, something positive that has happened to me, or with Rochelle's Rants, something that is getting on your girl's nerves, something that has irritated me, agitated me, upset your girl's soul. And today I have a couple of raves. So let's get into Rochelle's raves for this Thursday. Okay, so really briefly, my first rave is just that, hey, this is the first episode of season 3. Welcome. And if you're, like I said, if you're new, welcome to the podcast and all of the random nalities that happen over here. If you're returning, I'm glad that you came back. Please continue to do so. It's so interesting. I took a week off of podcasting and new content. I re-released my most popular episode of season 2, etc., blah, blah, blah. So really, actually, it's probably been 2 weeks of a new Thursday episode. And I was just writing down topics. I had so much to talk about. And I'm like, I really have 2 weeks of podcast topics. So not sure what I have not decided what I'm talking about today. There is one thing I know I'm talking about. But other than that, I don't know where we're going to go. So, but happy to be here. Happy to be releasing new content again. Please check out my last reality show recap, which I recapped 2 episodes each of Married at First Sight Nashville and Ready to Love Miami. It was a great time. So check those out. But yeah, that's my first rave. And then the second rave is there's been a lot of positive things happening in my life. I didn't know. I kind of waited to record. I really wanted to record this episode a couple of days ago, but I wasn't sure. I was like, something may be going on. Something may occur that I could announce if it happened. So I said, just wait a couple more days. And it did happen. This is like real time. So the Lord is working in the girl's life, and I'm going to do a life update real quick. And man, so the rave is just blessings and just positive things happening. And yeah, that's the rave. And I'll get more into it in the life update. So the raves for today is just welcome to season 3, episode 1, and season 3 of Internal Rambles. And the other rave is just positive blessings and things in my life. So let's get into the podcast and life update. And I don't know where it's going to go because when I say real time, yeah, so let's get into the life update. So, okay, the first thing is if you have ever listened to me or not, I'm going to tell you. So, I have just been really wanting to switch up and make a career change. I've been at my agency for over 10 years. I've been doing my current role for over 5, and your girl has needed a change. It's just, I work in the mental health field. I'm surprised. I was telling someone today that I like to switch things up. I like to every 3 to 5 years to change my job, agency, etc. I'm surprised that I've been at the same agency for over 10 years. And it has just gotten to the point where I just need to make a change. And so I have been I kind of have been over the last few years switching from aggressively looking for jobs and then passively and then nothing. And there's just like this interesting cycle. Pre-pandemic, literally January of whenever the pandemic started, was it 3 years ago? I was applying for jobs. Out of state. I was looking into relocating, and the irony of that is for many years I said I would never relocate, but I got to the point where I was like, girl, live your life. You don't have children, I have responsibilities, but it was like you have to live for yourself. So there were two areas in particular that I was actively applying for jobs for, and then another area that I was like, maybe. I probably put out at least 10 to 15 applications. And then honestly, I would say, so that was between like January and to March, and then like April, that's when the pandemic started really getting crazy. And so I believe in signs. I don't know. Sorry. It wasn't the time to relocate. I still am open to relocation, but it just wasn't the time. And I don't know why. I don't know. But it's crazy to me that I never considered or relocating. And then I started like applying to all these jobs, and then the pandemic hits. I don't know. And it's like, whoever thought we would we would have a pandemic, but we had one. So I'm still open to relocating. There's a certain area that I would love to live in one day, but I guess not yet, or, but I'm still open to it. I do kind of feel like the fact that I haven't bought a house yet, and I haven't, maybe that's, a reason why, but who knows. But within the last year, a little bit over a year, I still have been actively applying for jobs. Within the last year, I've been actually actively interviewing for jobs. I had a few interviews. So literally in real time today, as I'm recording this, I accepted a job offer within my agency, but I'm going to be moving into a different department. So your girl got a new job. So when I say this is real time, this is like literally real time. So that's why I wanted to wait a few days, because I knew that I was being vetted and it was being processed. And it's like, they literally tell you like, don't you resign for your job. This is not no guarantee offer. So I was like, let me not, be like, oh, I couldn't. No. And I knew someone who literally the last day she thought she was going to another job. The last day at my job, she still was unsure if she was going to be able to start her new job. So I don't take them tentative offers lightly. You don't got a job until you get that final job offer. So yeah, I'm excited. So I officially start next month, and it's still with the same agency, but it's a different department, and it's it's hard to explain, but without giving like details. But it's gonna be a departure from what I'm doing, but not. I'm doing some of it currently, but not a lot. So I probably do like 10 to 20% of it now, if that. And it's in a whole different department, but still at the agency that I work at. But I'm excited about doing something, pretty much different. And I'm excited for the change. I'm excited about learning new things. I'm excited for the potential opportunities. I'm just excited. Finally, I've been wanting to change my role for a while now. I've been praying hard. And I always say, I think I say it on here, I'm not sure, but I say it to myself all the time that it's never in my time, it's in God's time. No matter how much I want something, it's not going to be when I want it. It's when God sees fit for my life. So I've been praying for quite some time. But, I'm excited about it, and I hope the transition is smooth, and, yeah. It doesn't feel, I know it, I just accepted the position today, so, like, I'm still processing it, and, it'll take me a bit, but I'm excited, and, yeah. And the irony of it, so I've been wanting to spend time with my younger brother, like, because usually, when I hang with my brother, it's like with family or like we go do concerts. But I used to like hang out with my brother a little bit more. And he's 25, and I was like, yo, because we used to like go out at dinner. I was like, oh, my mother was telling me like my brother's like really into sushi all of a sudden. I eat sushi, but I'm like, my mother was telling me like he's really like he's always going out for sushi, and I was like, oh, I know a really nice sushi restaurant. I just haven't been there in a really long time. So I texted him. I was like, yo, what you doing Saturday? He was like, oh, I'm up. And I was like, oh, you want to go to da 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 da? He's like, what's that? I was like, and I showed him. He's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yo, let me put him on to this really nice restaurant. And I didn't know anything about anything at that time. So, and I'm like, oh, that'd be nice. Like, got a new job, go to this nice restaurant. So that'll probably be like my little celebration for this new little job. It's not a little job, but my new job that I got. So, yeah, and I'm excited. I'm still processing it. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just like, finally, it is happening to me. Patience is I'm telling you. Like, I was talking to my mother because as I was going through the process, and my mother's like, just be patient. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And she's like, just be patient. I was like, do you know whose child I am? My father was an impatient man. And she was like, I know, but you're going to have to practice it. And I do feel like in this stage of my life that I got going on, God is trying to teach me patience. And so, you have some patience and you will see a reward. So that's it. So got a new job. Okay, thanks. Bye. No. And I announced it to some of my coworkers, and I hated the way like it was like they going like admin is announcing it, and I was like, what do you mean? I haven't even announced to my team, and they was like, you better do what you got. I'm paraphrasing, but they was like, yo, the announcement's coming out today. So I had to have an impromptu meeting with like just the people that was there today, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, I just accepted the position minutes ago. They was like, yo, you listen, you got it. And I was like, I don't even know what the rush is, because I'm like, I don't even know. But they was like, yo, admins and getting the ball running. They need you on a team like yesterday. You go, and it's not even true because it's a lot going on with this job. I can't even get into it. But people seeing that they was like, you're going to what? What do you mean you're leaving? I was like, I'm out. Sorry to tell you like this. And it was just crazy. And when I tell you it was craziness today, that's why I still feel like I can't process it, because it just was, once I got it, I was like, oh my God. But then it set off so much craziness at work. It just was like, oh my God. So that's it. Um, yeah, so then I mentioned like setting, like just trying to get out the house and doing little things and having little goals. So I love like wine tastings. I haven't done one in a really long time, and I found like there's this company that does like all these little events. So anyway, so me and my sister went to this wine tasting. It's like I've never been to this type of wine tasting before. I kind of appreciated it, but then I kind of was like, can we taste the wine? Because at this wine tasting, the I don't know what you call it, like the instructor, that whoever, literally was. It wasn't just like, hey, here are these wines. Here's how you pair them. Like, he was just literally like going over like the history of wine and how you like make the wine and where the wine comes from and like the tannin. Oh no, it was white wine, so it was no tannins. But like how you store it and where it comes from and the notes, and it was just, it was lit. My sister was like, I didn't know we was going to school today. It was just different, like, but I appreciated that. It was like I appreciated the education portion, but I didn't know it was like that. I thought I was just gonna have like like they call them like flights of wine. You taste them, you get the notes. No, it was a literal class. And so I guess if I would have known, I wasn't prepared for, no, you take the class and then you drink the wine. But it was cool. And he has another one coming up, and my sister, I think she's interested, but it's like you have to be prepared for, no, you gonna learn today and then you gonna drink the wine. But it was cool. It honestly, it was different, and I appreciated that, but I didn't know that was what it was, but I appreciated it, you know. I was like, no, you gonna learn about wine today and then you drink the wine. I was like, oh. But I I've never been to a wine tasting where you don't get to purchase the wine too. I was like, I would get this bottle. So that was the other thing. But I 100% enjoyed myself. It just, everything that I've ever known about a wine tasting almost didn't happen. But that was really fun. So that's my little life update. I feel like maybe there's something else, but I don't know. And when I tell you today has been a whirlwind of like ridiculousness, but in a good way, but just like, this is what I want to say. This is what's been happening in my life, I would say, within the last year, but definitely be careful what you pray for, because you just might get it. I believe in purposeful prayer. And purposeful prayer for me, I don't know what it means for anyone else. It's just like you pray with intention. Like, you don't say, oh, I want a car, because you may get a hoopty, right? You have to be like, I want that black Mitsubishi. I don't know why Mitsubishi came in my head. I want that black Mitsubishi. This is very like ridiculous, mindful. I want that black Mitsubishi with leather interior. It's a 2024. I want it in June. Like, you have to be specific. This is what I'm saying, of what you pray for. Because you could say, oh, I want a car, and it's a hoopty, but you got the car though. But it's not what you specifically wanted. You have to be specific. Okay. So I have hibernated with the pandemic for so long. And I'm like, I want to have a life again. Problem is, and I want to get out and do things, enjoy. I go through these really interesting time frames where I'm not and I mentioned this before, I'm not doing anything. I'm like, okay, and then it's like I'm busy, and I'm like, I feel like I almost can't get anything done, or like things go by the wayside, and I'm like losing sleep because I'm just like, I procrastinated because I was like, oh, I'm not doing anything, and it's like, then my schedule is like so jam packed, I can't I'm like, I can't even squeeze sleep in. So it's like, be careful what you wish for. It's like, I'm like, oh, I want to have a life and I want to, and then it's like, oh, you got a life. Your life is life in it now. Like you, and it's just like, it's been so much going on. Like, hopefully, like, it calms down now, but it's just like when I think I'm about to have calmness, oh, you gotta, because you got a lot that be going on. And it's like I go from like, oh, I don't really have any plans. It's like, oh, so and so called you about this, and so and so called about, oh, and then what time can you do this? And I was like, oh gosh, because it's like I'm not used to like managing things. I've been in the house for 2 years, like it's like I don't know. So, anyways, I gotta learn how to balance and manage my time. And now, like and someone was like, "Oh, what's your schedule gonna be?" I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. So be careful what you wish for. Practice purposeful prayer. So, anyways, yeah. But as far as like May, I had time off in May, but I think I'm going to change that because now I have a new job. But I definitely am going to take time off in between my current position, just 2 days in my weekend, so I can kind of like, okay, decompress and just get my mind right, for the new one. But I do have time off in June that I'm like, hey, I got flights and hotels, and I'm not. But I think I may, I don't know, but whatever that time is, I'm not budging on that. But my time off in May, I can modify that. So yeah, and then I do know kind of what I booked my hotel for my birthday, and I booked my birthday dinner spot. I don't think I announced that. Oh yeah, so I don't think if I did, I don't remember. Just in case I didn't, the hotel's booked, the dinner spot's booked, so that's good to go. I don't know what my schedule's going to be, so I just hope I can maintain those dates. If not, I may have to switch it up, but I actually do know where my birthday dinner is going to be, and that was really super exciting. So, yeah, it's a lot going on over here, but positive things. So, that's my little life update. I hope you are doing well. Listen, pray. Whatever you do for you, positive vibes. I believe in, people call it manifestation. I don't call it that. I believe in speaking things. I call it speaking things into existence. Positive vibes. That's what I call it. And prayer, it works. And like I said, it may not be in your time, but it does work. And I am a testament to that. I could talk about that, how that has worked in my life multiple times. And so, yeah, that's my life update. And so let's get it. I have other things to talk about. I'm already at over 20 minutes. So we'll see I said I have a couple of podcast topic ideas. I was just writing them down like, oh, so let's see what I'm going to talk about next. But that's my little life update for today, April 2023. All right? All right. Okay, if you are not new here, you would know that my all-time favorite, did I mention favorite, artist of all time is Jodeci. Okay? Okay. But if you are new, hey, my all-time favorite artists are Jodeci. My first time ever seeing them live was last year, 2022. I've been a fan since 1991. I also saw them this year in 2023. They are going back on tour this year again with SWV and Drew Hill. And I'm like, Jodeci, drop them dates. They announced it about a week or two ago, something like that. Drop them dates. Because if they come close enough, I will go. Now, when I saw them last year, I drove, 4 hours, something like that. I don't need to do that. But if they come maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll make that drive, I will do it. I will do it. I just love them so much. And like, really honestly, it's like these type of artists that have been in the game 20, 30 years, it's like, you don't know when it may be the last time you ever will see them because, they're gone. And did I mention they're my all-time favorite artists? I love concerts. I love music. I've been to plenty. That is my thing to do. So I'm super excited. When I was on Instagram, and then like all of a sudden there was this announcement, and I was like, what is this? I knew that they had said that they were going on tour again, but I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know. Yes. And that's a really dope lineup. Drew Hill, obviously heavily influenced by Jodeci, SWV, very iconic R&B group. So yeah, and I've seen SWV live, I've seen Drew Hill live. So that's a really dope concert to me. So yeah, looking forward to that. Speaking of SWV, I mentioned in a recent podcast episode that SWV Escape reality show. Oh, Lord. The finale of that. Not going to get into it. I will say I watched a little YouTube video, and it was just the three of Escape. It was Tiny, Candy, and Tamika, and they were talking about like the history of their hairstyles, and it was like a really cute video. And I tell you, it's really unfortunate, but the three of them together, they just seem so connected, so happy and jovial. They just need to be a trio right now. And I watched a reality show that they had like 7 years ago, Escape. And what a difference years make. Because back 7 years ago, the sisters, Latasha and Tamika, they were cool, but you could tell that Tamika was, how do you say it? Holding her voice to keep the peace. And they were all cool with Latasha's husband, because they ain't know he was doing dirt behind the scenes. And it was just so different. It was just different. What a difference several years makes. But I'm just, them as a trio right now, hopefully they can get back together, but it needs a lot of healing. But it's just so cool with just them three. It just needs to be them three right now. I just think, man, that show was a mess. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But I need to see them tour dates, Joe, to see where all the tour dates. Supposedly the dates go on sale on April 24th. So I'm like, I can't wait. All right, let's get on to something else. So something that has kind of came up recently on a reality show, but I've also seen it on social media, is this thing, and I'm literally switching gears. So Internalrambles, follow me. Hi, have you met her? This is what Rochelle's podcast is this thing about, you hear about men that are not taking care of their children. So kind of like the deadbeat dad and the absentee father. And so this thing and I've seen a comedian just talk about, he was like, you hear about deadbeat dads, but we also have the absentee mothers. And so this came up on the recent season of Love and Marriage DC. Yes. One of the women, her mother when she was 16, and if I was responsible, I would get her name, but her name is irrelevant. Her story that she says is that when she was 16, her mother left the home to move in with her boyfriend. Now, her mother says that she did not abandon her, that she was taken care of because there was family in the home. But what it sounds like is it was just like cousins, like there was no adult in the home. That's what it sounds like us watching the show. And there have been various recent social media posts that this has kind of been a recent, more occurring phenomenon of women leaving their children because their new boyfriend for whatever reason, basically their new boyfriend don't want to raise children, what it seems like, that are not their own. And I thought this was interesting because, anything is possible. But there were a lot of people posting or commenting on these posts that this is more prevalent than we may know. Because honestly, we know this could be possible if there's a woman that's struggling with addiction or mental health, they may not be able to, or whatever, they may not be able to raise their children. But just this phenomenon of they, have children and, there's this new man and then they leave the children due to the man. And under these posts, it's like, oh yeah, I know women like this. Oh yeah. I'm like, y'all do? This is really prominent. Y'all all right? But it was just very interesting. And the woman on Love and Marriage DC is Ashley. She's the one that confronts her mama about being abandoned at 16. And so that and then other posts on social media, you hear about, that's been the thing for so many years about men that don't take care of their children. But it's just, you meet a man and, oh, I don't want no woman with no kids, or I'm not raising your kids. All right, deuces, as Chris Brown would say. I'm like, y'all, I don't have children, but I'm just saying, like, if I had children or a child, my cat, I remember I had to do, we dealt with each other, like, whatever that may mean for y'all. Okay. And he didn't like cats. And I'm like, oh, okay, and, my cat lived with me, like, we a package deal. He was so afraid of my cat, and my cat, if she liked you, that means you was a good person. But if she ain't pumped with you, there's probably something wrong with you. And I know I'm not equating children with pets. Just rock with me real quick. But he didn't like that. I am one of them people. I was one of those people. I don't have pets right now. But my cat slept with me. Sorry. And he didn't like that. And I'm like, bruh, my cat lasted longer than you. I respected the fear of it, but she was on my side, This her house, But the thing about it is, it's like, yo, respect me in my cat house. Like, I know this is a tangent. This is really wild. But, hey, like, she didn't do anything to you. She didn't scratch you. She didn't, but yo, this is her house. And my cat slept in the bed on my side. She did not sleep. She did not sleep on his side. She is going to jump on his bed, though. But she's going to get on my side. Hey. So if I feel that way about my cat, imagine how I would feel if I had actual human children. If you don't respect the fact that I got kids, babies, I can't deal with you. You know what I mean? Imagine whatever I would do if I had actual humans that I done birthed. Stick up for yours. Handle that. If you can't handle, and just like I went through. I mentioned this. I went through a phase where I was like, I don't, and it lasted for a long time. I don't want no man with kids, and I had to grow up. I don't know if it's growing up, honestly, but men be having kids though. So I had to be like, if I like a guy and he has a child, I have to accept it's a package deal. I have to accept that man and his children or his child. So it goes both ways. It goes both ways. All right, let's move on to a different topic. We're going to switch it up a little bit. I don't watch sports anymore. This wasn't a topic I was going to discuss, and maybe somebody can help me out. And I'm gonna have to look this up because I just saw this yesterday and today. Somebody's gonna have to explain this one to me though, and then I'm gonna get on up out of here today. I used to watch basketball. Allen Iverson is my favorite basketball player. I also really adore Carmelo Anthony. Draymond Green was suspended for 3 games without pay for stepping on Domantas Sabonis. Is that how you say his name? Chest. Bro, when I saw that, I was like, you alright, Draymond? It just seems so, stepping on some, do y'all know what y'all chest is like? Stepping on, I'm like, do y'all know where the chest is and what's in the chest? I'm just thinking like, what if that man's ribs would have cracked? I mean, and people were like, oh, well, he grabbed that man's leg. Okay, but stepping on that man's the aggression, is that not assault? I get grabbing of the leg is, but he like, one don't equate to the other to me. I don't know. I just, stepping on a man, is it because his chest didn't cave in? It's okay. Like, and like, this is like, Draymond had, I could be wrong, but historically, he's constantly like aggressive and fighting people or like, are we going to continue to let him do this until someone does like pass out and almost die? Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, when I saw that, my chest started to hurt a little bit. Like, I was like, oh, no. I'm like, oh no. Like, I was like, oh no. Y'all just kicking people in the chest now? Oh no. Y'all alright? No. Somebody kick me in the chest, I'm getting somebody's like pinching. No? Okay. It's like that song, one of these things are not like the other. No? Okay. Maybe it's just me. No? Okay. I don't know. I clearly when I'm still stuck on that because I literally can still keep visualizing that foot on that chest. Like, all right. Okay. Alrighty. We have reached the end of the podcast, which means it's time for the song of the podcast. And since it's season 3, episode 1, I'm going to give you 3 songs. You know why? Because I love you. No, I do love you, but I'm going to give you 3 songs, right? I'm going to give you 2 R&B goodies, and then I'm going to give you a gospel song as well. So since I mentioned Jodeci, why not give you a Jodeci song, right? And so I'm going to give you a song off of their sophomore album, Diary of a Mad Band, and that is My Heart Belongs to You. The next song is by DVSN. It's actually Division, but I call them DVSN. And it's called Again, featuring Chantel May. This is off of their Amusing Her Feelings album. Really pretty song. So that's the next song, Division, Again. Last but not least, like I said, I'm going to hit you with a gospel song, and that is going to be from Jessica Reedy. And let me get the correct title of the song because that would be appropriate. Correct. And that song is called I Know, and that is off of her 2014 album called Transparent. Again, Jessica Reedy, I Know. I know the plans for you, the plans that I have for you. And I'm going to let her sing it and not me. So, okay, 3 songs. Jodeci, My Heart Belongs to You, Division Again, and Jessica Reedy, I Know. Check those songs out. Add them to your playlist, and you won't be disappointed. Thank you for tuning in. Continue to tune in, and I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you're returning, I hope you continue to enjoy the content over here. If you're new, I hope that you continue to return and enjoy Internal Rambles, the podcast. Please hit up my official site at Internal Rambles Podcast and interact with your girl over there. Tell your loved ones about me so that they can get in on this great content. Subscribe to me so that you get this content immediately. Take care of yourselves, because self-care is the best care. And if you are able to, take care of each other. And until next episode, this is your girl, Rochelle.